You know, now that I think about it, Dragon Ball Super episode 88 might have been my favorite episode in quite some time when it came to just character development. I mean, we've seen some cool fights in this arc already, and in my review for episode 88, I was listening to the review and I was like, man, you know what? I really didn't hammer home just how much I love this episode. I really liked Dragon Ball Super episode 88, and I want to talk about the Gohan and Piccolo character development in this episode. I want to have a discussion here, a podcast style discussion with you guys about this episode. Now, I'm not alone either, folks. It's not just going to be me talking. I got the biggest Piccolo fan in the community here. Qaaman, alrighty guys, has joined me. Hello, Quinn.
Hello, Mr. Geekdom. How are you doing today?
I'm good, man. So I want to talk about Gohan and Piccolo's development. I know that this episode, the two main storylines were Kaba goes to recruit Cauliflower or Caulifla, and Gohan and Piccolo fight. And dude, not only did this episode really, I feel, put a kibosh on the whole Mystic Gohan thing, but I really like this episode because, and we're going to talk about Piccolo here in a minute, like, this was like a classic kung fu, like, training, like Yoda and Luke Skywalker. Like, Piccolo kind of put him through hell to get it out of him. What'd you think about this, bro? And by the way, guys, we're going to link I was going to say Piccolo. We're going to link to Quinn and Mai's reviews on the episodes at the end of this video, but we're going to talk just about this development. What'd you think about Piccolo and how he treated Gohan?
Well, what I love the most about it is that this whole episode was more about the mental than it was the physical. It's like Gohan had it in him the whole time, but Piccolo was like the one person who's known this kid ever since, you know, in other words, he abducted him ever since he was a toddler and has seen this kid develop, and he kind of gave Gohan a confidence boost while also kind of telling him, no, you have all this power, and he wanted him to push himself. And that's one of the things I love the most about this episode, that after all of this stuff happened, Piccolo says, do you want to keep pushing yourself? And Gohan shook his hand. It's like Gohan is going back into it. Like, that was like a changing of the guard. Like, Gohan is now accepting his fate as going back to what he was, training with Piccolo, and he's pushing himself. And that was one thing I really loved about all of this.
Dude, Piccolo's speech in this episode I thought was absolutely fantastic. You know, he tells Gohan no fight is an assured victory. He's like, you've been arrogant, you got drunk off your power. And they bring up the fact that Gohan, when he fought Super Buu, he could have finished him off any damn time he wanted to, and he wanted to goof around, and thus he got absorbed. The same thing you could say happened with Cell. Gohan had Cell on the ropes to the point where Cell, and folks, you gotta, if you forgot this, you gotta go back and watch it again. He beat Cell up so badly that Cell puked up 18 and regressed to his second form. And at that point, any single one of the Z fighters, well, maybe not like
with
Yamcha,
the exception of like Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha.
Yeah. And maybe like Piccolo, maybe, but like we know for sure that Vegeta, Trunks, Goku, and Gohan could have finished this dude off, and probably Piccolo too, could have finished him off at this point, because Piccolo did go back in the room of spirit and time. He did get stronger, so maybe he could have. That's not really what this video is about. And he goofed off, and then Cell became fat, and then he blew himself up, and then he lost his father. So Gohan has made these mistakes over and over again, and it's kind of a little irritating that it took so long for Piccolo to, I guess, whip him back into shape. But I loved how in the episode Piccolo was telling him, like, you know, you got arrogant, like you, and he even at one point he even blamed Goku a little bit for it.
I was writing a script for a future video. I'll keep a secret right now. And the interesting thing about all of this is that in many ways, Piccolo is like the alpha parent to Gohan, whereas like Goku's like the beta parent, who's kind of like more lax, more loving, and like Piccolo's the one who's like the disciplinarian in all of this. And that's why I kind of think it's so cool to see like that contrast with two dads.
Now, I was going to ask you, actually, why do you think that Goku... Because Goku... Here's the thing that I thought was interesting. We know that Goku and Gohan trained for a year in the Room of Spirit and Time, and Goku essentially helped Gohan not only unlock Super Saiyan 1, he also taught him about the in-between forms, the phase, you know, stage 2, stage 3, whatever. And then he taught him how to get full power, and pretty much that would lead to Gohan eventually becoming SS2, because Goku saw the potential in Room of Spirit and Time. So we've seen Goku really bring the best out of Gohan. Why do you think that Goku thought that Piccolo could do the same now? Why didn't Goku do it himself? Was it just because he was busy recruiting more dudes? Because that's what I was thinking. Maybe Goku was too busy trying to get 17 and Buu to join the team that he's like, Piccolo, can you please do this for me? Or do you think there was actually a more psychological reason as to why Goku went with Piccolo to, I guess, retrain Gohan's mind and get him to go back to how he used to be?
It's so funny because I was just in a stream, debating this the other day. And to me, Geekdom, I think it is two things. I think the whole thing where Goku has to go recruit them is part of it. But I think the primary reason is because of something that happened all the way back in the Room of Spirit and Time Hyperbolic Time Chamber. Because you remember when Gohan was training with Goku, and Gohan at one point was getting frustrated because he felt that Goku was going too easy on him. And he felt, he was saying something like, Piccolo could really push me, like he's harder on me. And I think that kind of goes back to it because Piccolo needs to really give Gohan the tough love to really bring the most out of him, whereas Goku in many ways could be soft. And I think Goku realizes this. He realizes that Piccolo pretty much taught Gohan how to fight from scratch. And that would be best for him at a time where, Gohan needs his power more than ever, even though nobody really knows that the whole universe is at stake.
I mean, yeah, except for the main guys.
Yeah.
I just thought it was cool because, the episode was the total throwback to Dragon Ball Z. I mean, we knew this going in. The early episodes, specifically, if you want to get if you want to get really specific, because I remember, I think it was DBZ episode 18, and I think it was 18. Episode 18, which was mostly filler, is the episode where Gohan becomes a Grade 8 for the second time after looking at Goku's pod that shot out the Brutes waves. That was filler, but I love that episode because there's a lot of Gohan training stuff in there, and it kind of was a throwback to that. But now, what did you think about the fact that the revelation in the episode, right? I think one of the big ones, I have a video about this on my channel anyways, was about the fact that Gohan could not use Mystic, or I guess he had forgotten how to tap into the ultimate power, and it took Piccolo telling him focus, focus, focus to get that power back. And the whole, I guess, revelation, Quinn, is that Gohan has not been able to tap into that form for quite some time, and now Piccolo got it out of him. Does Piccolo really have the knowledge to do that, or is it one of those old school martial arts things, or is it something maybe he got from Kami, because he is still Kami. He has Kami's memories. Maybe Kami, being the god of Earth at one time, who knew about the other gods, maybe he got some kind of divine knowledge. What do you think?
The funny thing about that is, to me, at first, I was kind of puzzled when I saw that, because it's this, in very vulgar words, I was saying this guy could barely turn Super Saiyan in Resurrection F, but now he's going to, his mystic form right away. And I think that's kind of a testament to show that Gohan, you just recently made a video about the whole water tank theory. I think the way you could look at Gohan is that Gohan always has, all of his potential just floating around in his body. And he only brings it out when a certain motivation or a certain scenario is ticked, and you have to figure out a way to turn the light switch on. But Gohan's power is all there. The energy's there. You just have to know how to turn on that switch. And I think Piccolo got rid of the mental block on Gohan.
Yes.
I think it was all mental, bro. Nothing physical.
No, I agree with that. It was all mental, and that's why, dude, I love this episode. I mean, obviously there are better episodes as far as animation goes and fighting. What a great episode. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. What a great focus on that. That's why I'm doing another video about this episode, because I think it deserves a discussion, about, all of this, because I thought it was just so great. How would you rank this episode? I mean, how would you, as far as character development goes and really bringing Gohan back, I thought it was really smart the way they did it. Or did you think it was kind of predictable? I thought it was fine.
Well, honestly, Geek, to tell you the truth, because of the character that's in it, my interest level was immediately like 5 times higher than an average episode. But in terms of the episode itself on its own 2 feet, I thought it was a pretty solid episode. I think it's definitely on the upper tier of Dragon Ball Super episodes, and I think one thing that made it really interesting is how many nods it took back to the past. Like, one other thing I wanted to add to this discussion is I really love the little scene where you see Gohan's fighting Piccolo and he's getting distracted, but Piccolo's, you know, broken off arm is what like fired at Gohan. I really like that because that takes back to the Buu saga where Gohan was caught off guard, and I just really like a lot of those nods they took back to Dragon Ball history. So yes, it's definitely one of the better episodes to me.
I think it was definitely, character development wise, some of the best stuff they've ever written, and I think it really brought Gohan back to where he needs to be. And it actually, you know what this episode did while we're doing this video? Because this episode, dude, this episode actually got me excited for the Tournament of Might more than I was before. Like, you know, it's no secret that Dragon Ball Super has been very hit or miss. Some of you might agree, some of you might not. That's cool. It's not even a thing. Everybody has their own opinion. But I think this episode really, really did a lot to get. And I'm not even one of those huge Gohan fans like your Gabbies or your Gunner Sports. Shout out to Gunner. Or Mike from... He is. Mike from Laughing Stop Me is another big one too. Yeah, Black and Fist. But I am not, and Rhyme Style too. They're all fans of Gohan, and I like Gohan. But this episode I thought was so well written because I was so worried about them like turning it into something contrived and like an ass pull. But I thought it was really well done. So let us know in the comments down below. Do you think this was the best writing for Gohan we've seen in some time? Do you like the whole martial arts aspect? Do you think that Piccolo? Like, was this episode, like, do you agree with what we're saying? And if you don't agree, that's okay too. Just leave a comment down below and let us know. And make sure you check out Qaaman's channel. He's going to have a video coming up, which I'm not going to talk about, but it's about Gohan. We can say that, right?
Yes.
It's about Gohan, and you'll want to check that out over on his channel. It should be up very soon, but what I'll do in the meantime is I will link to another video you've done that everybody should check out down below, and of course to your channel, and let us know what you thought about the episode. I mean, not a review, but like what you think about Gohan and Piccolo's relationship now. Not the episode itself entirely, just that part. And if you're new to the channel, of course, subscribe, hit the like button, share the video out. It really helps me out a lot. We're here to bring you the truth and have a fun time. So thank you for being here, Quinn.
No problem, amigo.
We'll talk to you down the road.